welcome back to Living Out Loud with Allie and Amanda. And we were just talking about how crazy it is, how it's already August. I feel like the summer just started.
I cannot believe it's August. It's a busy time. It's football season, getting kids back in school, and it's a busy time for everyone, especially women.
A word or something that has been on our heart as we've been preparing for this is the word serving. And I just want to talk about that for a little bit.
I know that it can be a life-changing experience whenever we shift the focus from me to others and serving others. It's like when we get to that point, life is more fulfilling. There's purpose, there's fulfillment, there's joy when we live our life for something more and someone higher. And that makes sense to us as Christians because our Creator, Jesus, He came, Creator of all, everyone, everything. He came here to serve. And so how much more are we to serve if the Creator of the universe came to serve? And so I just think there's a lot to that whenever we take the focus off of ourselves. And I tell my boys, my sons, I know a lot of times they'll say, I'm bored. And I think I'm always like, okay, are we going to dwell in that? Or are we going to, wallow in that? There's so many places that can go, not just boredom, but just we can be in a sad place. We can be in a depressed state. Hard things can be happening. But if we get up and we choose to look for opportunities to serve, that can be so helpful and it can make such a difference just in our attitudes, in the positivity in our life.
It puts it in perspective. Your current situation, when you're serving somebody that has either less than you or they're struggling with more than you're struggling and you serve them, you give up your time, your energy, or your finances to serve them.
And it doesn't mean that, it's going to be the cure for depression. Right. I mean, a lot of people have different situations and different things, but I really do think there's so much to that whenever it can just take us to a different place of knowing that by serving others, we're serving God.
Right.
And that's when we're fulfilled because we're fulfilling our purpose. That's when we're satisfied. Just like when we talked to Megan last podcast, we were talking about, she was saying when I'm folding this laundry, I'm serving my kids. And when I'm serving my kids, I'm serving God. Yeah. And I just think that's what it's about. That's what life is about. And it reminds me of a story. I read an article not too long ago. He was talking about how his marriage had crashed and his wife was leaving him and his 3 children wouldn't talk to him. And he was just devastated. He was at the lowest point of his life and he had contemplated suicide. And his pastor had taken him to a homeless shelter one day and he said that changed his life. It changed his perspective because his focus shifted from everything that was going wrong in his life to helping others. And, and so that made a huge difference. And so it made me think about that, just how it can make a huge difference in our life when we think about others over ourselves.
It really can.
And it reminds me, too, of an example of serving. Allie, you are such an inspiration because you're 23 and I just love the story of, but just when you told me about you spending the night with a friend who lost her husband, who's a widow, and you and some friends go and stay the night with her one night is that right?
Yeah, that's right. There for a while we were staying once a week. We had committed to having a sleepover every week, and after my wedding, we kind of stopped doing that. So now we try to do it as often as we can, but with everyone's schedules, it can be really difficult. But it truly has been the most rewarding thing. And I never once thought that going and spending the night, making a sacrifice of maybe one night during the week to go and spend the night, it was not a sacrifice at all. It was really something that has impacted my life personally, but I think everyone that was involved, because even though some people look at it as me serving her and being there for her while she was grieving and going through a huge adjustment in her life, really it was her that was serving me by opening up her home, teaching me how to cook, letting me swim in her pool, and just telling stories of her life that it's just gold. I mean, hearing about her life years ago, just crazy stories about her and her husband and her family and just everything that she has experienced from being 60 plus years old. It's not something that you can get anywhere else. And it's so valuable to me to know somebody like that and to be.
That is so great. And what I love about it is you took the opportunity. You saw the opportunity and you took it. And so many times we see opportunities and we just pass by, or we're not looking for the opportunities, and they're all around us. There are so many opportunities to serve, and that's what life is about.
Yeah.
And so I think there are plenty of places that, you know, we can serve in our community.
I think so too. I know there are several places in Oxford. I've been to More Than a Meal, which is you can feed the homeless, and that's really a rewarding experience, being able to serve them and talk to them and just hear about their life and different stories and things that they're going through. I know the food pantry here in town. It's a great place. Leapfrog, I know they have a lot of volunteers there as well. And even people that aren't here in Oxford, there's so many ways to serve, especially a local nursing home. Investing in elderly people is huge. And I think that sometimes they can be the generation that feels forgotten.
Yeah.
And that hurts my heart because they are the generation that just changed everything for us. And for the good, in my opinion. And just everything that they have done for us, we should invest back in them. Invest our time, our energy, and our love and support to them by just going and talking, visiting with them. That's all it takes. You know, it doesn't have to be something big, something really time-consuming, but just showing them that we love them and we care enough to hear how they are and ask them how they are.
Yeah, I think it's great. And I think in any place you live, there are those opportunities. You just have to look for them.
Absolutely.
We hope you will join us this Thursday, the 13th, to hear Missy Hopkins share her story of becoming a mother to a 7-year-old little boy. Missy told us through almost every adoption story, there is heartbreak, but with that heartbreak, there is beauty and joy. Let's hear a brief clip of what she is going to share.
Imagine. It sounds so cliche when people say you can't imagine the love for a person until you have a child, but it's true. There's nothing cliche about it. And this was a child that I did not birth. This is a child that I do not share DNA with. This is a child that I don't share the same skin color with. But there is a lot of unity in all those differences. And that is a divine unity. That is a gifted unity among all those differences that are very visible to the immediate eye. But then when people look with their heart, they see it as it is and for what it really is. And it's a family that God brought together.
We can die from the hurt inside or choose to live.